Good afternoon, Jan.
Hi, Michael. Good morning.
How are things going, sir?
Quite well, quite well. Uh, Never enough time, but
I
I
know
will
how that
just do
is.
that. There are too many nice things to do in life. Um, I sent you the remarks on chapter 9 uh, 2 minutes ago,
Excellent. Thank you.
but only chapter 9.
Okay.
So there were not a it was not a completely new chapter, but uh, again, it was very nice to reread it.
Uh-huh.
I'm always amazed how fast I forget things.
Yeah, yeah. I even had that experience while working on the second edition. It's like, okay, I need to be sure to make this point, and then I go to the text and it's like, oh, I did. Okay.
Mm. But what amazes me even more is that reading that first edition, even
Hmm.
that in your head you plan so much ahead.
Mm.
Um, New things which we discover today. No, we don't discover them. They are in your head already a long, long time. Um,
Yeah, yeah. Maybe not exactly in the right form, or um, yeah. Sometimes the math points in a certain direction, and it's like I think that's the way to go, but I don't know practically how to get there. Um,
mhm,
yeah, I think maybe the biggest example of that is what happened with feeds between the first and second editions. It's like I knew there was something better there, but yeah,
mhm,
but it wasn't until actually implementing Juggernaut.net on Link, and it's like, oh, that
mhm.
unlocked an expression that led to much better feeds.
And who knows? Perhaps there is even a better way to do it.
Yeah, yeah. I would not be surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm hopeful that that is something for somebody else to discover. that
Oh,
yeah, it's like okay, I've
yeah.
got this reference, I've got this
Mm,
this implementation.
mm,
See what you can do with it.
yeah. Good. I also started thinking about the model for uh, DWS.
Hmm.
So the simplified version, yeah. Because long, long ago, we made a complete model for the new version with all the possibilities in it.
Yes, yes.
So now I started seeing what can I leave out
Hmm.
uh, to make it similar to today's version of DWS.
Hmm.
Um, might perhaps be useful. Can we go through that?
Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
yeah. Uh, Before I show the model, perhaps I just show the application. I think I showed you long ago,
Hmm.
but perhaps for users who are following, it might be more interesting to.
Yeah, I think this
Wait,
would
let
be
me
a good
share
recap.
that screen. Um, where is it here? And I hope it's not gonna crash now. Better text readability. Go live. Okay.
Hmm.
So
It is quite readable.
wait. I can put this.
Oh,
So
yeah.
is
There you go.
it
It's good.
is it still readable? So
Yes.
okay. So actually, that is the dispatching software. Later on, we will switch to the mobile application.
Okay.
But so in big lines, there is a map
Hmm.
where you can yeah. For the moment, it's not activated. But for example, when was it? Last Tuesday evening, and I'm gonna select here. Yeah, it's in Dutch, but so I can
Hmm.
select the company. The company is here in Belgium.
Hmm.
Yeah, and normally all the people are around. But so if I say just the employees of the company, and I'm in this test version. So if you say refresh, so that evening I went, yeah, from where I live to Perpignan in France.
Hmm.
Um, so you can just follow the people while they work. Yeah, and you
Yeah.
see the company. The company is over here. So
Ah, wow.
it's 1,200 kilometers further.
Yeah.
But okay, that's compared to our distance, you should live somewhere there, I think. Yeah. So
Yep.
the
Yeah.
distance
Right.
is
Right
relative.
there.
Um, but so to do this, I need, for the moment, I take points, I think, every 4 minutes. But in the new version, I want to reduce that drastically.
Mm-hmm.
So I take a point, so GPS coordinate and the time with it. Then these are the tasks. Yeah, for the moment, only 3 tasks. So for example, let's click on this one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the name of the customer, QED code,
Okay.
the location, not applicable. So this is the street, the number, postal code, the area, and the country.
Mm-hmm.
Then the task, online meeting about historical modeling. The scheduled start time, Thursday 15 hours. So that's 3 p.m. local time.
Mm-hmm.
And remarks, the end will be around 4 p.m. Reading chapters 7 and 8. No, that's there. I made a mistake. I copied it from
Right.
another
Yeah.
time. And who's gonna do that? So here I have my technicians. Well, it's me,
Mm-hmm.
and I can add some machines in it. So if I press just a letter, it will give me all the machines. Well, it might be a Defender. I think that's a certain car for these agriculture people.
Okay. That's not
And
showing up. Is that on a separate pop-up, perhaps?
oh, yeah. So if I click, it shows me a pop-up,
Okay.
a combo list
Oh,
box
got it.
with
Okay.
all possibilities. And so I just select that.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's not in the list, I can just type it in as well. And I can delete it again. So it's fully modifiable. The moment I say save this, yeah, so it was an existing which I modified. So it's this line.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I see.
I
Okay,
can
yeah,
make a
that
new.
entire edit pop-up, I saw it flash on the
Yeah.
screen, but yeah, that doesn't come through the stream. But yeah, I think we
Oh,
got the.
you don't see the pop-up.
Nope, nope,
Oh,
just
wait.
seeing the grid behind it. But that's
Okay,
okay.
wait. Yeah, but that's not what it should be. Wait. If I change window. Okay.
Okay, yeah, so there's the pop-up. Got it.
Yeah. So if I click, yeah, now you don't see the grid, but I
Right.
clicked on edit in the grid. And so here I have my customer.
Mm-hmm.
So here also I can just select the customer. I can, for example, I type a D. It gives me everybody with a D in the list.
Mm-hmm.
Or if the customer is not in the list, I can just type it in. You see?
Yeah.
If I select the customer, it gives automatically the address of the customer, which I can change. So here, the meeting, the timing, the remarks, my technicians, and all the machines that I have to bring with me. I can select machines. I can type in things which are not in the list, or I can just delete them.
Mm-hmm.
The moment I say save it, well, then it closes.
Yeah.
And then I go back to this one. So here you have an overview, which you can, yeah, just, for example, sort them on the starting time, and then they see exactly how they can, what tasks have to be done by which technicians.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay. That makes perfect sense. Yeah.
So this data is synchronized with the Android telephones.
Mm-hmm.
We will come to that soon. Then on the Android telephones, the employees are selecting what they are doing. And so that comes back. Now, yeah, currently there is nothing running, but For example, go back to that last week. That was the 6th, I think. You see. So
Okay, so those are all the tasks
yeah.
that were.
So on the 6th of February, I started working at 1942. And the task then was traveling. So traveling to a customer.
Mm-hmm.
Then, and that ended at 2016. 2016 to 21, I did some configuration, then some training. Then I traveled back, clean up. And from midnight 15, I was not available anymore. I was in private modus,
Mm-hmm.
you see. Here we have the customer, and the status of this task is finished. And the description was just meeting and training. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, makes sense.
Before that, I was in private, and after that, I was in private as well. Then there are some reports that you can generate. You can import your relations, so the customers, the machines. But so it's actually it's quite simple. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and the nice things are you can put them side by side, and then I don't remember how it was exactly, but if you click here, it will highlight where he was and so on.
Ah, nice.
So
Yeah.
it's and we can back to the standard layout. So if we go to let's go to the application. Yeah. Now you see the phone. Where is the phone? Because that's I have it on my screen by TeamViewer.
Mm-hmm.
Where is it on my screen? Ah, it must be behind. Do you see?
Not yet. Hasn't started the stream yet.
Strange. Did it crash? Well, I have the impression that TeamViewer just crashed. Wait.
Oh.
With all these applications that crash, why? Normally, TeamViewer never crashes. Sometimes it doesn't work well, but
Yeah, so I'm not. Yeah, we're just not seeing a stream at all.
I restarted the TeamViewer session, and now I'm gonna. So I have my telephone now. Better text readability.
Ah, the stream crashed. Okay.
Let's try that one more time. If I don't, and TeamViewer also crashed.
Oh, okay.
If I don't enable better.
Okay. Yeah.
Or perhaps, yeah, but I'm gonna. What I can also do, my virtual machine is also open next to that. Let me save that virtual machine, because that one we will need later.
Mm-hmm.
So let's save that one. Okay, so that's good. Then TeamViewer is running again. Try to share that again. I'm gonna switch to smoother video. Don't know whether that makes a difference.
Nope.
TeamViewer and it's not working well together. Okay.
Yeah. Well, we did that last time, which was like 2 years ago or so. But
yeah. Okay. Just yeah. Is that readable? This.
No, just seeing that there's some white buttons. They look just like white buttons.
Yeah. So actually,
we'll give it a try.
Yeah. So actually, here you select. You have a drop-down box with, for example, QED coding.
Mm-hmm.
I select it, and then I say, okay, I'm gonna start with having coffee, and that button will light up. And then I say a little bit later, okay, I start my training, and the button will light up. So my activities are just these buttons.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
For the rest, if I go to the left, I have my agenda, all the tasks that are waiting for me as a technician.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see other technicians' tasks. And if I swipe to the other side, I see my full history. So I
Okay.
see everything, what I entered. But so actually there is not much data I have to enter, just
Yeah.
selecting, and I can add a remark each time. That's all.
Okay. Yeah, but that records the time that you started, the time that you stopped, and your
Yeah,
location.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But so for the moment, it's not possible to change data. Once you click, you clicked.
Mm-hmm.
You simply have a button which you click, and we call it the oops button.
Yeah.
Oops, I made a mistake. Because in the field, these people are working in agricultural sector.
Uh-huh.
So it's cold, it's raining, they wear gloves.
Yeah.
So if they have to go and type in, I did that wrong and change the timing, it's not possible. So they just, oops, finished.
Yeah.
And so it's recorded that there was an error. And based on the GPS, normally the dispatcher will say, okay, he forgot to click.
Got it.
So then let's restart that virtual machine because we need that for so the virtual machine was not a problem. We need that for the model. Not the correct password. It's a pity that we cannot share multiple screens at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm directly gonna share the new model. Put it in text field. Okay.
Okay, there we go.
Is the model readable or not at all?
It's a little bit small.
Right. Let me put that aside.
Yeah, if you pull that up just a bit, I think it'll be, yeah, that's much better.
Yeah. Okay, and here on top we we have the code.
Yeah.
Perhaps I can just make this a little bit bigger, then we have a little bit more code.
Okay.
So initially, we had a system where the supplier is actually my customer.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the supplier to his client. So you see my cursor?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. So here you have the supplier. The supplier has his client. And the user is the employee of the supplier who's gonna work for his client, his customer. Okay.
Right. Yes.
So the user, which is the employee of the supplier, is a successor of the supplier. The user has a username, which is mutable.
Mm-hmm.
Then the supplier has clients. And these clients, they have a yard, a place where the work has to be done,
Yes, makes sense.
which has a mutable address.
Mm-hmm.
And then the dispatcher at the company, which for the moment has no login in the current system. So that's the Windows application. So that one we are not going to change in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
In the first place, I want to use this model on the portable phone,
Mm-hmm.
and then have it fed by making connection with the database that's behind.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Just create facts probably based on triggers.
Yeah.
So the moment that we create a task, we create a task fact.
Mm-hmm.
We have to tell when to start this task with just a starting date and time. There is no end time.
Right.
A description, which is also mutable. And then we can bring machines or tools.
Mm-hmm.
So we do have a lookup table of all the tools. So we have just this association between task and tool.
Yeah.
The fact that it is in orange means that there should also be a delete fact, but not a restore fact.
Okay.
The green ones are delete and restore.
Okay. Nice. Nice. Yeah, that really cleans things up.
Then, once we assign the task to a technician, to a client, we have this work for, which goes to client, and the client also has an address, but might have multiple addresses. So
right.
We have this go to the yard.
Right. Yes.
So here we defined the full task. Then we are assigning the task to a user, to the employee. And once the user starts working, then we create a unit of work started, which has again a predecessor which is assigned. But we have a lookup table with type of work. And so every button, remember all these buttons, there was taking a break, a coffee. There was configuration of the machines. There was working. There was on the road towards the customer, so transport, having a problem with the machine, repairing the machines. So that's a type of work.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Now, did they select the task with that drop down?
They select the task with the drop-down box, and then once that is selected, they click one of the buttons, which becomes yellow when it's selected, and that is the type of work that's selected at that moment.
Excellent. Yeah.
So there is a link between this through the assigned predecessor.
I like it.
So unit of work started, when it is started, when is it ended? So when I click the button, it is started. When I click the next button, it ends. So I'm not entirely sure whether I should record ended, because for the moment in my database, I don't do it. The start of the next activity is when this one ends.
Right.
So I might leave that one out.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Makes sense.
And then I have a remark that I can add to this unit of work. And also we had to register the GPS coordinates. So a user can have one device or can have multiple devices. Yeah. If he's logged in on more than one telephone, well, the GPS coordinates come from a particular telephone.
Right. Yes.
And you might even have the case, which they shouldn't be doing. I always tell them, don't install the application on two telephones at the same time. But you could imagine that the same user has two telephones with two tasks running, which might be different. And so the GPS is from every telephone is different.
Right. That makes sense. Yes.
Yeah. One telephone might be at home and the other one with him. So the coordinates have to be assigned to the device itself.
Right.
And linked to the unit of work.
Yes. Yeah, that makes sense.
So last time we defined this device session.
So when you start the unit of work, the session starts, and then you capture periodic GPS coordinates in that session.
But couldn't we also just have GPS raw which takes the two as a predecessor, the device and the unit of work started.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. There
But
wouldn't
that
be anything
means
wrong with that.
the number of GPS coordinates might be important. So in that case, we have each time two predecessors. So it might be more economical to have this system where you only have one predecessor in terms of storage.
Yeah. Yeah. In the past, I've been a bit more careful to add intermediate facts like this, so that you have just one entry point for the specification. But now that I support multiple entry points for the specification, yeah, I'm less concerned about that. But yeah, the economy of it. Yeah, I think you're right. I think there would be some optimizations that the like for example, the feed algorithm would find. Is that true? Maybe. Yeah. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think it would. It probably is still better to have it than not to have it, but I can't articulate exactly why that would be. Yeah, one thing that that you could possibly change is the started when, since you know that time exactly when you create the unit of work started. That could just be a field rather than a successor, and that would.
Yeah, exactly. So in that case, where was it here? That's the plus the unit of leave, unit of work started. So started when, that one I'm gonna remove, and here make it a field in unit of work started.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and we might get some noise. I understand that our lawn folks are here and they have blowers. I don't know why those things were invented. They're terrible.
Okay. For the moment, I don't hear any noise. But so that's for when they work. But then there is also this private status. So either they work, either they are in private. When they are in private, there are of course no GPS coordinates logged. But you have two different private states. Either you say, I'm not working and I'm also not available. I went out with my wife, with my children. I'm on a family party. Or you can say, I don't work now, but if you need somebody, please call me because I'm available. And I would like to earn a little bit money. So,
Yes.
so if ever the boss needs somebody, he just has to call the right person.
Okay.
But so that means we have also a type of leave, just as we had a type of work.
Yes, makes sense.
Same thing, unit of leave started, which connects the user to the type of leave. And there the same remark is valid then, unit of leave. So make it a field
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
unit of leave.
Yeah, this feels like a nice simple model. It's not doing the whole thing so we're not implementing the dispatch system in the model. This is just the worker.
Because this is still understandable.
Yes.
For me at least. Other people might understand more complicated things, but I like to keep it clean. So So the type of leaf, here we can add things, we can delete things potentially. Now, most of the time it's standard. The type of work, the buttons are also standard, but I might have customer where I have to change it. Then clients, of course, they can be deleted. They can be restored. The address is mutable.
Yeah. And I like that you've kept type of work and type of leave as successors to supplier, which allows you to change them per supplier. So yeah, like you just said, if a particular supplier has an additional type of work, then that's a new successor for that supplier, but not for the others. Yeah.
Because that's important. I have some customer which they only want 3 or 4 buttons, and some of them, if I don't stop them, they want to have 100 buttons.
Yeah.
There I say, okay, that's gonna cost you a lot per button, and that helps immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes you have to protect people against themselves.
Yeah. Very true. Very true. Well, we can even though you've got really good reasons not to do this. Yeah, we can have the buttons be dynamic. So, I've logged in. I know which supplier I belong to. Therefore, I can do a query on type of work, and then show that collection of buttons. In order to make that happen, we would have to support images, and so there's a pattern. I'm currently working with the improving team to implement this pattern for managing images within the model. But ultimately, I do want to make that a library in and of itself.
That's a very nice thing. So then you would have images inside the fact, or
inside the fact, you would have the hash of the image, and then the way that you would manage that would be that you'd use that hash as the file name, and just have a folder full of images.
Content address storage.
Yeah, exactly. And then you would have an endpoint on the server that you could use to upload and download images by their hash. So that is a library that I want to give you, so you can just use that, and now you've got an image source that you can just data bind to the hash. And then the other thing would be add that endpoint to the replicator as a service. So you could just start using content interest storage without setting up your own server.
Is that gonna work in 2 directions, that image? So I tell you why. Okay. One of the things which is important in the new version, not in this one, a technician, for example, they come at a customer site and they hit a wall with the big machines, and so there is some damage. At that moment, they take a picture, because that's important for the insurance.
Yeah.
They take a picture with the phone, and it should go to the dispatching. Or they have a problem with one of their machines, take a picture, and it should be sent to the dispatching.
Yes. Yes, indeed. In fact, that direction is the use case that the improving team is using it for. So yes, it'll work either from the dispatch application to the mobile device, or from the mobile device to the dispatch application. Yeah.
I love the people at improving. They come up with such good ideas. Yeah, that's great news. Okay, so I think we have the full model there. I'm sure I will have forgotten things. Is it correct that what I should do next is make the queries? so that
Yes.
I can get all the data, just to make sure that I can get out all the data for my user interface? Is that the way to go now?
Yes, yes, that's what I would do. And yeah, I would do that inside of a Polyglot notebook so you can just kind of,
Yeah.
experiment,
Play with it.
see things work. Yeah.
Okay. Then that's the next time the
Mm-hmm.
next thing I'm gonna try to do.
Awesome. Yeah, I
reading
love that. I love
chapter
that.
reading chapter 10 and doing that. Um,
Very nice. Yeah, I'm planning a talk. This is going to be online at the Improving Talks series. Um, that's probably going to be early in May. That where I talk about historical modeling and how you can analyze a problem using historical modeling. So I don't go into um, Janaga. I don't go into quite so much distributed systems. I kind of point in that direction, but mostly it's about the analysis part of that. And I intend to show different historical models that I've been a part of, I've developed, or that I've helped other people develop. So yeah, I would love to feature this one in that talk.
yeah, no problem. I will send you the dot file by mail, so you have it. One
Excellent.
thing, Michael, the sound of your voice
Hmm.
is very distorted. Is it because my internet connection is bad, or your internet connection, or?
No, it's because of the leaf blowers.
Ah,
Yep. Yeah, so it's probably my preprocessor working really hard to get rid of that noise. And so it messes up my voice. Yeah.
yeah, okay. All right. So I will send you that dot file, and feel free. There is nothing secret in it. Anyway, it's on YouTube. So
Yeah, excellent.
and it's your invention, not mine.
Yeah, and then
Good.
by then I'm sure that we'll also have the the polyglot notebook, so we can say, okay, here's a thing that works. Yeah, that's one of the things that yeah, I'm helping people discover on my project is specificity matters, and so
Mm.
yeah, we're writing user stories and talking about how to build a billing system in words, and it was like when you take those words and these words, you get a conflict. So being specific is really important. So
Mm.
I'm translating the user stories of the billing system into a polyglot notebook. It has nothing to do with historical modeling, but still, in that polyglot notebook, writing snippets of code that actually do billing calculations. So you can say, well, in this case it should do that. In that case it should do, well, let's simulate this case. Okay, it does this. In that case, yeah, it does that. Okay, we got it. Or oh no, it doesn't do that in that case. Let's make it more specific so that it does. Yeah, specificity
What
matters.
what date is that presentation, Michael?
That should be the first Thursday in May.
The first Thursday of March?
No, that's going to be May.
In May.
Yeah,
Okay. No, then we still have
yeah,
some time.
yeah. Take your vacation. Don't worry about that. And then
Yeah.
when you get back, we'll do
No,
the
no,
polyglot notebook thing.
then we still have a little bit time. Not too much, but
Yeah.
good. All right.
Awesome.
Yeah, I stopped the sharing already.
Yes, you did.
Yeah. I saw again a lot of new additions to GitHub.
Yes.
A lot of commits.
Yes, it has been quite a week. So I think last time I shared that I introduced a proxy in order to keep track of the fact graph while you're deserializing a record, just in case the record type has changed. And so we talked a little bit about versioning. Yeah, and at that time I I couldn't get the demo to work. So yeah, there was just a whole bunch of app crashing and everything. But yeah, the so the way that I generated the the proxy was through reflection emit. Now, when I deployed that to an actual phone, reflection emit did not work. An actual iPhone. Apple does not allow code generation in an app on the device. So one of the things that I did this weekend was to instead use a source generator. So let me share and show you what that was all about. Excuse me. Okay. I heard the noise that says that. Wait, no. Okay, interesting. I heard the stream ended noise, but it looks like the stream is still running.
Yeah, the stream is still running, no problem.
Okay. Let me go to janaga.net. And if I take a look at the solution now, I've got, inside of tools, I've got this Janaga source generator. So, a source generator, this is a really cool thing that was added to .NET somewhat recently. I think it might have been .NET 7, maybe even as early as .NET 6. I don't remember exactly when, but the idea is that there's an extra step in the compilation where you can inject your own NuGet package, and then it'll say, everything that implements iSource generator, let's go ahead and initialize it and execute it with this context. So now you can search for patterns inside of the compiled source code and generate new source code before it continues on with the rest of the compilation. So, yeah, this one, we'll talk about this fact syntax receiver, but right here is the important bit. So it is going to literally generate some source code inside of a namespace, a public partial class, or a public partial record, support either classes or records, of some name, implementing iFact proxy. And then it explicitly implements the graph property of iFact proxy. And so this allows you to attach a fact graph to a record as you're deserializing it, so that when you reserialize it, it doesn't go to the fields of that record, all the properties of that record. Instead, it goes straight to this fact graph. And the reason for that is that from one version to the next, those fields might change, but you still want that record to represent a particular fact type. And so when you deserialize it, you want to make sure that you get exactly the same fact graph if you then try to use it. Otherwise, you'll end up creating duplicate facts that you don't intend to. So, yeah, with this source generator, I'm able to generate this source on the fly and then add a new source file to the compilation set, where it's that record name.g.cs, and then that gets compiled. So I mark this thing as partial, which means that in your source code, you would have to make your records partial so that this can be added onto that existing record, but just in a different compilation unit, a different file. So that's pretty similar to, and it's exactly the same mechanism that the community toolkit uses for view models. You have to mark your view models as partial. That way it can give you something that has all the iNotify property changed implementation in here. So yeah, do that for classes or for records. And then the way that I find those is this receiver. I get my candidate classes or my candidate records. And so that's because while I'm initializing, I register this syntax receiver, and that receives notifications as it's parsing all of the original source code. And then when it's done with that pass, it calls execute and generates the additional source code. So my fact syntax receiver is looking for, so it's the visitor pattern, so on visit the syntax node, it's looking for class declarations or record declarations. And then it's looking for the fact type attribute on that record declaration. And then it's looking for the partial keyword. If you don't have the partial keyword, then, oh yeah, that's the, if you don't have a partial keyword, then it adds a diagnostic message. So it sends you an error that says you have to have the partial keyword on your records. You know, I wanted this to be even more important than just a warning. This is, things are not going to work the way you expect them if you don't have this partial keyword. But if everything is good, you've got the partial keyword, then it adds that to my candidate records. And then I can generate the other side of the partial once I execute the source generator. So that's a way of doing code generation before you've even finished your compilation, so you can ship that to the phone and everything works. The other method of source generation is still in here, so not Janaga test. In Janaga, we've got serialization. My deserializer is going to, I think I put this all the way at the bottom. Yeah, right here. While it's deserializing things, it's going to create proxy types for a particular type. And so here it is generating a dynamic assembly and emitting a brand new type into that dynamic assembly. So yeah, it has a field called graph. It implements ifactproxy.graph, so that's the explicit implementation. Creates the getter and the setter, binds them. So lots of low-level stuff, and you can see, system reflection emit is what's happening here. We're actually emitting intermediate language opcodes. By the way, what's really awesome is you can use GitHub Copilot, give it an example of the code that you want it to generate, and say, make me some IL, build some IL on the fly that implements this code, and it will write this out. So it's really good at translating from one thing to the next.
Yeah.
So yeah, I didn't have to look up or think about any of these things. It's just like, no, that works. Test it. Yeah, let's go.
So it translates from C#
Yep.
to intermediate language.
Yep.
Oh.
Yep. It was pretty nice.
Yeah.
Yep. I first used that with the expression tree stuff. Let's see. Yeah, I think it's actually earlier on here. Yeah, like right here. Git predecessor. I still have this comment in here. But I said, okay, what I want you to do is call get predecessor single on this this fact parameter that's coming in, and then if it returns null, give me back the null. Otherwise, call deserialize. And it says, okay, here's the expression call that gets predecessor single, passes in the fact parameter, and then we give that a condition. So we do the condition expression thing. If that's null, then return that as a constant. Otherwise, call deserialize, which is a generic method. So it even said, okay, that generic method needs to be created using this parameter type. So I was like, yeah, do that right there. So yeah, it was able to go from this comment to this code. I just checked it.
Not
So,
bad.
yeah, it works. So the funny thing is about iOS, this code works just fine. We're able to build expression trees and then compile them and execute them. But expression trees can only go so far. They can only give you a pure expression. It can't generate any new types. It can't do anything that has side effects. So I think what's actually happening is it says, oh, I'm on iOS, therefore I can't generate IL for this expression tree when I compile it. Instead, I will create a little state machine that will interpret it at runtime, I think is what's happening. But yeah, so it's able to do this stuff. It's just not able to generate the proxy on the fly on iOS. And so I rely on the source generator to do that instead.
Not bad.
But the reason that this is still here is that in Polyglot notebooks, the source generators don't execute. So in Polyglot notebooks, you can actually define your class or your records without the partial keyword because there's no source generator checking that you've used partial, and it's not generating any proxies. So instead, it only calls this if it finds that the type that you're trying to deserialize to is not an IFAC proxy. So no source generator is run to add IFAC proxy to it. So therefore, I'm going to try to create a proxy type. And if that fails, then I just say, okay, I did my best. Let's just use the raw type without the proxy, and we'll get some anomalous behavior in certain circumstances. So that was one of the big things. Yeah, little things were related to getting the view model patterns ready for my my talk coming up next week at the DFW mobile.net meetup. That's going to happen before the next stream. So I might. What I think I might do is just reproduce that meeting on the next stream. That way, you can watch that when you get back, and I can share what went well, what didn't go well, and show the demo.
Okay. Anyway, I will be taking my computer, of course, so I might have a little bit time there also to watch it in between, but not necessarily on a Thursday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's been quite a busy week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, but I really see an evolution towards a system that is not only theoretical but really works in real software.
Yeah.
Like, for example, the fact that you want to add the images, which is in practical systems often a requirement.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, that's one of the things. So yeah, if you look at Replicator as a service, right now it supports sign in with Google, sign in with Apple. But if you look at the open source replicator in Node, it doesn't have that because there are other Node packages you should be using in order to sign in with whatever. Yeah, so just use Passport, put the right thing in, and show you how to hook it up. So yeah, I'm adding more things to Replicator as a service than I am to open source because I know that Replicator as a service is intended to be used without a backend. You don't have the opportunity to add other things. So yeah, this is one that makes sense. Yeah, I think I'll add a few other features as well down the line, like having an indexed search engine. So I should be able to use Elasticsearch or Mongo or something like that. So then what you would have to do is upload a bunch of specifications that say, okay, these are my projections. Go ahead and project them into the search index, and then I will just call it using the the regular search syntax that it supports.
Okay, and then you get the results back in a feed.
Yeah, you would. Well, you would get the results back. The results would actually be the projection, whatever that projection was. But part of the projection might be the hash, and then you can use that hash. Actually, that's not supported yet. What I do want to be able to do is use just a raw hash, not a full object, as a parameter, which you can do in the read endpoint, but I haven't yet implemented anything in the library that lets you say, this isn't an actual record, this is just a fact with this particular hash. So use it as a parameter, run the specification, and give me the results. But yeah, once I add that, then you would be able to take your results from the index as a hash, then run it through that specification, and get back what you really want to see on the UI.
Okay.
So
that sounds good. By the way, the word replicator was one of these things which I found back in the first edition already.
yes.
I was really surprised. I said, Michael just came up with a replicator, but in his head it exists already a long time.
Yeah. I remember. I remember the moment that I was working on the distributors, and I think this was I was maybe creating the distributor Docker image. I think is what I was doing. So I was like, okay, I'm working on distributor. Okay, here's the distributor Docker file, and it's like right up until the last few minutes before I publish it to Docker Hub, and it's like, wait a minute, these aren't distributors, these are replicators. These are CRDTs. They're replicated data types. Changed the name, pushed it.
It comes from CRDTs. It doesn't come from Star Trek.
It does not come from Star Trek, no.
Okay, that's another secret.
That is a great image, though.
Well, it has to do with both of them.
Yeah,
the fact that you replicate your data. Good.
Yeah.
So next week I will not be there. I will be back the 8th of March. So I think it's 3 Thursdays. Yeah, 22, 29, and the 7th.
All right. Well, have a great holiday. That's going to be fun.
Yeah, I'm gonna see my family-in-law in Singapore and in Malaysia. So
excellent.
Yeah. Perhaps see some friends from long ago, because I used to live and work in Singapore. So
oh, okay.
I still have some ex-colleagues over there. That's almost 25 years ago that I left Singapore. So. It
Oh,
was
awesome.
one of my first jobs before I started on my own.
Yeah,
It
and so
was
you've been you know, a businessman with your own company ever since then. Just this is
I
what I do.
started Total Software Solution in 1999. So
Wow.
beginning
Yeah.
90, yeah.
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 Those were exciting times. That was still right in the middle of the dot-com bubble.
Well, that's why I still have software running in VB6.
Yeah.
The things I'm seeing now is that a lot of my contacts in the companies of my customers, they are retiring. So people, yeah, which were 10 years older than me,
Mm-hmm.
uh, when we were young and when they became my customer, and now they are retiring. So, but okay, then
That's a nice long
we are
ride.
replaced by young people, and okay,
Uh-huh.
uh, makes me that makes me more old then. But
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah. More
yes.
wise, more trusted, more experienced.
For the
We'll go with
moment,
that.
yes. For the moment, yes, but it goes up, and at a certain moment, it goes down. Yeah. But okay, that's not for now yet. For the moment, we love writing software. We enjoy doing what we are doing. So,
Indeed.
and I have the impression that's not different from for you also.
Exactly.
Okay, good.
All right. Well, enjoy. I will see you when you get
See
back.
you. Yeah, in a couple of weeks. But I will see the episodes on YouTube. No problem.
Yes, indeed.
Okay,
All right.
Michael. See you.
All
Bye
right.
bye.
Bye.